Hey YouTube, it's Prime13 with another video review. Today I'm going to be looking at these sort of bootleg Masterpiece Primes. They're not, I don't think Masterpiece is really the right word. They are based off the Earthrise mold. The thing about them is they're kind of like all over some of the like Chinese sites like AliExpress, and I haven't really looked for them anywhere else, but I know they're on AliExpress. And I heard about these, thought they were interesting enough, and decided to get them. I did get 3 of the 4. So they have Optimus, the Inner Robot Ultra Magnus Nemesis, and Shattered Glass Optimus. And I got these 3. And so again, they are literally the Earthrise mold. Like, you can see, like, they transform the same. They have the, you know, they're simplified and like cheapened up, to be honest, but it is the Earthrise mold, more or less. So, and they are not perfect. They are, like, you know, cheap bootleg figures. But as far as cheap bootleg figures go, they're pretty solid. They're pretty solid. See, I also got my other Earthrise Prime here, just to give you a comparison of, like, how big they really are. They are really big, and they do actually have a little bit of die cast. They all have it in the same place. Right here on the torso, this whole section is like die cast. This front torso piece that's unpainted. And given, you know, like I said, they're not perfect. Like, the leg joints aren't great. The heels, the ankles do lock in if you want that, but for the ankle tilt, you know, you gotta unlock it. They do have ratcheted knees. All the arm joints are pretty solid and stay in place. The wheels on the back, those don't tab in. I wish these tapped in. I just kind of put the gun on the back to hold them in place, because that way they don't flop around as much. But they do all come with a different colored Energon axe, which is just on a post for them to hold. But overall, it does look nice. They all do come with a matrix in the chest, and they're all painted slightly different, given they only put the orange on the front half, but the gem is painted on both sides. Honestly, it might be like a little plastic marble in there, because it looks like there's a seam line on it. But they all come with a matrix, and the blasters are all the same, cast in black. The blaster I do kind of have an issue with, because they did put these round posts on the side, but they sculpted the handle to actually be flat. So in its hand, it kind of flops around because it's not round. But he holds the post solidly enough. But yeah, when you put the actual handle in the hand, it flops around. But yeah, they are, for what you pay, they are a decent quality, because these are like 25, 30 bucks. They're basically the price of a deluxe class. Like, these, this guy costs as much as this guy. Like, they are like within a few dollars of the same price. So you are getting what you pay for, and it's honestly, like, I mean that in a good way. They do come in a black box with white line art. They all come in the exact same box. They just sort of check mark which one on the side is like Optimus, Ultra Magnus, Nemesis, Shattered Glass. But yeah, it's all the same box. Not really much to it. And it's just a very cheap plastic, like spreadsheet plastic inside. But and do be aware that when you open them, their arms may not be attached, but they aren't pinned in, they are like socketed in. So like you can just pop them back into place. Like it's not a big deal. Yeah, for what these are and what they cost, I think they're worthwhile. By no means are they perfect, but at the same time, they're cheap and sturdy enough that I feel like I could give this to a little kid. The plastic does, like, you can tell that they're like somewhat hollow because of like how light they are. You know, it's not going to be like your Hasbro figures, which like some are somewhat solid. They are pretty hollow, but they don't feel, how do I phrase it? It feels cheap in like the good way, if like that makes sense. Like the plastic still feels of decent quality. I don't worry about the plastic like breaking because like it's super thin and I like might put too much pressure on it or something. It, you know, feels cheap as in they wanted to make it as cheap as possible to sell as many as possible. And like, I don't know how else to really put it. Like it's cheap in a good way. And yeah, it is literally just the Earthrise transformation. Like it's like down to the same steps. The only thing that's really different is they don't have the gas cans on the bottom of the leg. Like there's no gas can there. That's like pretty much the only difference. And honestly, I don't mind that because that's usually where you would pick it up and you put the gas cans back in whenever you grab them. So I don't care about that. That is fine with me. And you can kind of store, there's nowhere for the rifle to plug in because of how the posts are. But you can like stick it in between his legs and then use the axe to sort of lock it in there a little bit. So, you know, it's not going to fall out. But yeah, these are just sort of like all over AliExpress and maybe some other sites. I would maybe think like eBay or maybe Etsy. I don't know. But yeah, they're like deluxe class price, and you're getting a transformer that's of, you know, acceptable quality, and it's like a foot tall. So I think it's worth it. I do think it's worth it. But yeah, like don't be expecting, you know, MP44 quality or anything. You know, it's $30, but they're solid. So I would recommend them. And a lot of other people have been saying the same thing. They're cheap, they're fun, you know, they're neat. So there's really not too much to complain about. You get what you pay for, and you're really not paying too much, and it's cheap in the good way. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say here, but I wanted to make a video about these guys, and yeah, pretty satisfied overall. So yeah, I think I'll go ahead and end the review here, but yeah, this is Soul Prime 13 saying transform and soul out.